Is it sitting low enough, or am I good? Is that good?
Yeah, you're fine.
You gotta rub it a little bit.
So but like talk when it's like, so when you're not talking, you can move the mic, and when you're talking, like talk into the fucking mic.
Or just like bend down. Like,
can I hear you
look
breathe?
like a dork when
I
you do that.
breathe hella loud. Will it hear me in there?
Yeah, if you're just like, we can turn each.
Dude, if you ever like watch any of my Snapchats, you just hear.
Breathe out your fucking nose, dude.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Ron, you ready? Are we recording on these already? Can we start?
Phil's been recording.
All right, let's rock, guys. Oh my gosh, I don't know how we're ever going to start this with this group.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's already started.
So, anyways, let's jump in, guys. So, NSC 34 is around the corner, and we got the whole Washington crew out here. Brandon Hall, Adrian Workman.
That guy's name.
I don't even remember who that guy in the middle is. And Julian Rimby. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
So, I just wanted to kind of dive in and talk a little bit about the event. I'm starting to get excited. This lineup is so bizarre because we took a 2-year hiatus from throwing events, and we have this whole new crew of kids and not really familiar with what their capabilities are, especially since, in USARS, there is no pro division anymore. So we're, seeing a fast 16-year-old kid, and we're like, well, how would he do against the other guys? And so I think this is going to be really interesting. And so figured we get everybody together and chat a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like some of the kids are pretty new in skating, generally like 5-6 years or whatever it is. So when you throw all of them in and you're like, okay, we're going to skate a 300-meter race, it's like, all right. Especially later today, we're going to pick starting positions, and you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So, well, I'm just kind of laughing as I look at the goon squad over here. Right. And Adrian, I think you still hold that title for being the youngest grand champion. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I was 15.
Yeah, 15 years old. Wasn't smart enough yet to know he shouldn't have won, but went out there and put it down. And Zach, veteran speed skater here. Zach didn't really do his prime years in the NSC. He was starting to get a little lazy, but you still got some placements under you. And Julian, you still got a road ahead of you if we can get you skating again.
Yeah, if you go to practice every once in a while, you'd be good.
Maybe.
Yeah, so much talent on the couch. I mean, shit, you should still be skating, Brandon, and racing.
I do. I go to practice 3 days a week and skate in the middle.
Yeah.
Technically, Adrian's the last. Are you the last grand champion?
I am.
You are. You're the last. You were supposed to defend.
I've held it the longest because of COVID.
Yeah.
Wait, that was the last event?
Yeah, in Tacoma.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Tacoma, and but at your guys' age, life takes over, and when it comes down to, well, do I want to start life and make some money, or do I want to keep chasing skating? It's kind of a hard call sometimes.
They're both pretty cool, but making money is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You can always go back to skating too. So.
Yeah. But theoretically, our prize money is what, like 6 months of your guys' work at your minimum wage.
That's Julian.
Minimum wage, yeah.
Oh, Julian took off today, and it's like, all right, dude, we'll get you Wendy's and pay for your shift.
Really?
No, I'm joking. So let's announce the lineup. This would be actually kind of cool. We haven't announced this yet. I think I posted something just on my own personal page, but I haven't put anything out for the NSC crew. So here's our sprint lineup. We got Caden Cato. Caden is a pretty special sprinter. He's still really young.
Kid's going to be in the NFL, dude.
I mean, the kid's going to be...
He's a freaking athlete.
The kid's just an athlete, period.
Yeah.
Right, and next is Dustin Hebson. Dustin's been battling a lot of injuries, but he always seems to be able to pull something off. And he's
sprints, yeah.
Yeah, and he's one of the last real sprinters, right? The U.S. right now doesn't have a ton of sprinters, especially with you retiring and Sabian's kind of on and off on the ice. So we don't really have a large group of like true core sprinters. And so Dustin was kind of one of those guys that was really in the mix on that. Mm-hmm. James Sadler, Sadler could probably do both. He could do sprints, he could do endurance. And one of the things we do in the NSC is we want to see the best show. So when you get a guy that's walking that line where he could do sprints or do endurance, we just ask the athlete, like, hey, what do you think you're going to do better in so we can get the best show? And James wanted to sprint. So, and then Brandon, we got your little brother, Junior Pascarella.
He could probably do a little bit both too.
Yeah,
Curious to see what he does after taking time off and everything. But last meet I saw him skate out, I was like, dude, I don't know how you went through all your cancer stuff and are out there still skating with the best guys.
Yeah.
He's 20 pounds heavier, but I'm like, still making it work.
Yeah. And then I don't know if any of you guys know this kid yet, and I haven't even actually met him personally. We threw him in because, our only indication really this year to put together a good crew was to watch the other races and see how they perform. And it's a young kid named Miles Mead.
Yeah, I've seen some Facebook stuff floating around. He's fast. He's quick.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at him, you wouldn't think he's a sprinter, but the kid can go, and so I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And then finally, we got Tanner Worley, and Tanner's been in back and forth, and Zach can probably comment on this quite a bit because Zach spent his entire career racing against Tanner and Dustin. Like, those guys are his age, and and so I imagine Zach's probably thinking that those guys are going to do some damage.
Some great battles with us three. Always the top three.
Who won most of the time?
I would say I did. But
Yeah,
I always thought they were better racers. It was just, it's racing, so like anything can happen at that point. I was just always in the right position at the right time. But
yeah, we know that sitting in the back and somehow winning.
I know, but Zach's times were so effing fast. Like, I think you guys were sophomore.
It's 1,000.
The 1,000, and it's like a 130.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it was 129.
And Thomas Goff was just out there just.
oh, you guys had Tom too. You had a good group. Like,
yeah, that was a hard group.
I want to say Zach just picked someone off almost every lap from last place, and then I want to say there was a crash in the race.
There was.
And Zach ended up pulling out the W, but the time is obnoxiously fast. And it's not just obnoxiously fast for sophomore, it's obnoxiously fast for anybody.
Yeah.
So that group is pretty special. So before we even get into the endurance, like, I'd love to hear what your guys' predictions are for the 3 and the 5, and give us kind of a little bit of layout of how you think that's going to play out.
Well, we're picking starting positions later.
Yeah, we're going to pick start positions a little bit later.
So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think a lot of that's based off of how we draw the starting positions. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and don't forget we're going to do the jump rule different too.
Yeah.
So, and do you want to explain that to everybody? So, obviously traditionally in USARs, you have.
Did you just ask me if I want to explain it?
Yeah, but I'm just going to explain. I want you to explain the NSC rule.
Good.
I'm going to establish the USAR stuff. So, in USAR setup, you got a 300 meter or 500 meter, whatever the distance is, and you jump. Well, they make you go 4 feet back. In the NSC, we called it a 1 meter disadvantage. We did a 3 foot line versus a 4 foot line. But, you would always go, Miguel, this is so dumb. If we want to figure out who the fastest person is, why do we have someone going at a disadvantage? So this new rule was your suggestion. So I'd love for you to explain.
Yeah, because you can't like imagine in like the Olympics or something, Usain Bolt jumped and they put him back 4 feet, and then he broke a world record. Well, the world record wouldn't be 100 meters; it'd be 100 and whatever meter, whatever track came up with as far as rules. So I'm like, for us, and especially we have such a tight starting line and such narrow lanes, it doesn't make sense. Like, penalize, like, take them out of the race, or you just can't start at a disadvantage, especially in a sprint.
So walk us through the actual rule.
Yeah, so what we kind of came up with was if one person jumped, it'd get charged to entire field. So it's pretty similar to how outdoor rules are. So one person jumps, and then guy B jumps, then he's disqualified. So it goes for literally everybody on the line if one person jumps. So I'm curious to see if anyone actually tries to use that as an advantage.
Adrian's looking like he don't like the rule.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
But you could use that as an advantage. Like, imagine in a 3, like, go out there and just jump immediately. Now everyone's going to be sweating. And if
you're stuck.
And if you know you can time it right.
But it, like, you watch NSC, you can watch those sprint races, there's like thousands of jumps, it feels like, every time that sprinters go out.
Yeah, but now you know, like, you're done. Like, you're not even going to be racing.
You're right, Adrian, and there's 2 challenges with this. One, almost everyone jumps, and so it's so difficult for the dang refs to call that. And at that level, it's not like watching the kids race where you're like, oh, that kid went first. Mm-hmm. You're really stuck looking at the line and going, damn, who jumped? And is their reaction time just faster than everyone else? It's hard as hell to call. The other thing with it, though, is once you create an environment where jumps aren't encouraged, then you're like, how many of you guys have ever jumped out of a race before? You've jumped out. Have you jumped out?
I'm an endurance skater. I barely get off the line.
Have you ever jumped out? I've never jumped out of a race because I knew when I jumped, don't move.
Yeah.
So now, one, it makes it so it's not so obnoxious where the race never starts and every single guy's jumping. After that initial jump, you're like, whole line is stuck. The second thing is, I can't figure out why anyone ever jumps in the NSC because we actually give them the audio of the start command. So all you got to do is memorize the timing. Yeah, you could literally count it in your head and go. But for some reason, I think the nerves kick in and it goes out the window. So
yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know that it's the same one.
I literally send it out. I don't know.
I just don't even actually was just like, I mean, if you're smart, you do it and you just literally count because it's the same time from get set to go.
Yeah, I'd put my headphones in. Yeah. I'd take a full day, memorize the start command cadence, and then know it exactly. It's a pre-recorded audio.
Yeah.
Makes it way more fair.
Yeah, I never
I don't think it was. I think when you skated NSC, I don't think we had it yet.
No, it was a newer thing. Mo recorded it, and we just go. The goal isn't to trick people. The goal is to have the most fair race.
Yeah.
So if you knew exactly when the start command was, it seems like it's more fair because then everyone knows what it is.
Yeah.
I really wish we could get technology to a point where
use all sensory pads.
Yeah, you could sensory pad a jump and not have to have a human decide if you jump or not. But hey, we're not there yet.
I know. Because there's so many times where it's like, which I love the rule of being able to lean and not actually getting called for a jump because you're not off the line. Like I get in normal format when we're doing like the kind of more when we're kids, it's like if you moved your arm or flinch, you were back, and it's like, did I really get anything out of that?
Yeah.
So I love that piece because I've watched a lot of the especially when we put out the Austin video where Mo's talking trash about me jumping all the time. Like if I watch so many videos where if you actually look, like my back leg is not, that's the first leg I pick up, but that was not coming off the ground before everybody else went. Mm-hmm. So it's like, we'll have
to slow-mo that and confirm if that's accurate.
It's accurate. I mean, okay, there's some times like, all right, that was close.
What do you think, Zach?
I think everybody leaned, but you did jump a little bit.
I love it.
You jumped more than most.
Julian, what do you
always had the fastest start.
Julian, what do you think? So we got Caden, Dustin, James, Junior, Miles, Tanner. Give us your 300 prediction and run it out. Like, what do you think is going to happen in that?
I want to say it's going to go to the more experienced skaters, but I also want to say it's going to go to whoever wins the start because a 300 is just so hectic.
But who do you think is going to win the start?
Probably Tanner.
Yeah.
Think Tanner can beat Caden?
I don't know.
Caden starts fast too, though.
It is fast, but again, like
Cato.
you get a scenario.
Is it fast?
Yeah, dude, and he's getting older. So you guys are used to seeing him as a kid. The kid's dunking a basketball like easily.
I haven't seen him in years.
So like he's starting to develop. Like he's got muscles and stuff. He's the real deal.
Like your little brother, just like out of nowhere, is just like, dude, relax.
It looked like Ian ate Ian.
Yeah.
After not seeing him for a year.
I feel like the younger kids though, like they just want to just snap and sprint and they don't take a track. So I feel like say Caden or like a younger kid, they're just gonna go, and then the older guys are just gonna do a track that could. Throw them off.
Well, what I'm disappointed in, which I really wish this would have worked out, was Carter was supposed to race, and he just had some scheduling conflicts that he couldn't get around because Carter is that guy that somehow you beat him on the start, but by the time you're done with the corner, he's already ahead of you, and you can't figure out what happened.
Exactly.
So,
but you get in scenario where it's like, that's why I think it's so dependent on the starting positions because you guys think Tanner wins the start. But if you have like Dustin on cone, Tanner on wall, Dustin's going to get to the cone first, most likely, or they're side by side, and then they go wide, and then you got someone, like James or someone corner. Like it's just.
But damn, dude, Dustin starts hella fast too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's like. I don't know.
Especially if Dustin gets up front, he can move. I haven't seen them skating them quite a bit, but
It's 3 laps though. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if you were good in 3 laps, like you're still probably decent in 3 laps.
Well, so that's one thing I was going to ask Zach. As a sprinter, how different is a 300 versus a 500? Like, tell us kind of a little bit like what goes into that.
I think it's completely different because like a 3-lap, it's an all-out sprint like that. Right when you get past like 2 laps, like you're almost dead. And at least I was for the most part. And so
I feel that.
like a 3, you're just going all-out sprint. You want to win that start because if you're in the back, like you could still win, but a lot of things got to happen for that outcome to happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brandon's got an obnoxious amount of sprint wins. What's the strategy on a 300 versus a 500?
There's really no strategy in a 300. The 300s win the start and protect your track, and that's about it. 500, I'm like this is turning into a little distance race. I gotta save. I gotta, at least for me, the way that kind of helped me get around to 500 is I'd balls out on the start, first lap, and I'd shut it down for 1 lap. Well, shut it down to like 90%, effort, and then maybe a lap and a half, and then I would save enough for 2 to go.
Yeah. That's the challenge. You're like, can I get to the last lap without this person bombing
It hurt.
me?
Yeah, dude, it hurts so bad the last lap. And all you can think about is, especially if you feel someone close, you're like, I know they're going to throw it.
I'm still thinking about that race where Mo decides to do the suicide pass. He's so agile on his feet that he doesn't all the way fall down. You're already jumping, thinking he's going to fall down, and instead he catapults you in
He
the
like
air.
does like some like Matrix move where he like turns around and he's like on one hand.
Yeah.
I'm like, just fall so I can get over
In the
you.
last corner, too.
Yeah.
The memory.
Yeah, Ron, you're gonna have to show footage of that on this podcast because it's
I
hilarious.
think there's a slow-mo out there.
I'm picturing me falling like that at my age now and going, I don't know how you guys got up after that.
Dude.
That looked brutal.
I feel like I was gonna puke. I remember laying there. I was like, dude, I need a bag. I'm gonna throw up. It was so, dude, that was terrible.
I watched it like a month ago.
Yeah.
So Gabe has been, this is totally off topic, but whatever. So Gabe has been falling an obnoxious amount lately. So at American Championships,
Jinx him.
he falls the first final, in my opinion, had it won. Second final, it was going to be a race. He still had juice in his legs, falls. The third race, he survives it and wins. And then he comes home from practice and he's feeling pretty good about himself. And we're doing sprint 2, pace 3. And apparently he doesn't remember where the cones are. Steps on the cone. I'm right behind him. He Supermans out. And luckily we have pads, right? No, the pads are in the wrong spot. Both of us missed the damn pads. I'm still limping around right now. Gabe recovered pretty quick. He's like rubber. He's like a little kid still, but like
Him and his sister.
yeah. Michaela likes to fall a lot too, but
Why?
but yeah, that leads us kind of into the endurance races, right? We got a lot of young, fast kids. Really, the only one left in the endurance division that has real NSC experience is Wesley Gandy. And Wesley's just one of those guys that seems to always be in the mix. He's got some W's under his belt, but what he does really have is consistency. Like, he's always there.
Yeah, and his passes are consistent. Yeah.
Hey, if it's not rubbing, it's not racing,
It's
right?
true. No, he does. He's a grinder, and he'll always be there. That's the one guy you kind of have to worry about, always.
He's kind of
In a
the
distance.
dude that I feel like is, if you beat Wesley, okay, we're going to let you come into the league. He's like that guy like that. You're just like, he's kind of the staple of figuring out where everyone else is, because if you beat Wesley, we know you can race with the other boys. So let me give you guys this lineup real quick. Jacob Melton. Brandon, you actually coached him, right? Was he
not
on your
really.
team or no?
No, not when I was down in Florida. He came like a little bit after, but we would see him every once in a while.
Okay, you got to skate with him a bit, so
Yeah.
you're kind of familiar with his skating. Aiden Saylor. So Aiden really hasn't had his opportunity yet to shine in the NSC. When he came in, he was still a little bit young. He wasn't really, he's been fast for a long time, but he really wasn't the guy yet. I don't know if he's got any podiums yet, but in terms of stepping out of the NSC, he's kind of been the man for at least 2 years now. So I'd be really interested to see how that works under our format. And then, of course, you got Gabe, and Gabe was already doing well 2 years ago as a young kid battling Adrian. Adrian didn't really let him win much, but there were some races where I could see that you had to put some effort in racing him.
Yeah, no, he was definitely faster. Like I felt like he was definitely faster. It's just I just skate way smarter than him, and you've seen him skate. It's like he's super fast, but sometimes, like I've told him this a million times, I'm like, dude, you got to think about when you're passing. You can't just like send it, because like it's nice to watch, and sometimes he makes it by, but sometimes he's on the ground, like what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
where you said he fell like 5 times at one meet.
I think that's the experience thing for him, because there's times where you can see something special, and like right after that race in Colorado, American Championships, Stelly and Tanner were really just kind of teamworking him and owning him. And in the 1,000, you know, Gabe and I kind of got into it because I get frustrated because I know how good he is, and I'm like, dude, like you keep racing those guys like they're the man. Like you need to go out there and race like you're the dude. Like stop it.
Yeah, go out there and win. The problem with Gabe and in a lot of guys that like just get really. I mean, Gabe's been good for as long as I remember.
He's a world medalist.
Yeah, as long as I remember. But like when they start getting really good and start racing like top level, like they put too much respect on everybody.
Yeah.
Like I remember like as a kid, when you first get into pro, it's like, dude, I'm gonna just try and just smash like the best guy out here. Like, for him, he's like, oh my god, I got to race so and so. Like he said that for so long. I'm like, Gabe, you are this like so and so. Yeah, like, you're the guy that everyone else is talking about. So like, go win.
Well, yeah, that's what we talked about. And then in the 1,000, Stelly was racing a really good track, and they skate the oval track. They don't skate, the traditional track. And Stelly was just skating a really good. I don't want to call it a blockers track, but I mean it's a protector track. And Gabe finally figured it out and just smokes him on the outside. And so Stelly comes up, or Stelly calls me, and he's like, dude, your boy figured out how to race. And I was like, yeah, like he can do it sometimes. And I think that's the experience aspect, is that as the experience grows, the consistency comes with the smarter racing versus like, can't figure it out 5 times. Oh, damn, he figured it out once. And so, but I mean, Adrian figured it out pretty young. That was one of the things that was pretty special. Like we go back and watch your grand champion win. It's not a fluke. Like there's some kids, that have pulled off some NSC wins, and you're like, oh, okay, well, circumstances. Like no, like when you won, it was every name out there, a big field out there, and you guys were really racing, and you were picking people off. That was pretty damn cool to see.
Yeah, I'm just really lucky that I had the people to skate with that practice, because I was the youngest, and I'd get bullied like by all the older guys trying to pass. You guys wouldn't let me by, and I just had to figure my own way out.
Right.
So,
but it's cool to see though, because like that, I feel like that was the moment where you had that confidence.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like now you're like, okay, well now I am that guy, and then after that you started just winning. Yeah. And then you went to Worlds and obviously got your medal. But
well, it was weird because when you first started getting fast, you have a skating technique that you can't tell that you're going fast. And I'd skate behind you, and I would just be like, what the fuck? Like he's gapping me right now, but he doesn't look like he's trying. And this is starting to get frustrating. And then when your endurance really kicked in, what I liked about you when you practiced is that you didn't care about hurting anyone's feelings. Like Adrian go out and lap me, you, Jeremy, and not care about it. And that's one of the things that like I yell at this kid about all the time. Julian to me is probably the fastest person top end, but he likes to skate down to whoever's at practice.
I know, dude.
And same with Gabe. Like I'm like, Gabe, like you could probably go lap us right now, but you and Julian are talking and hanging out. Like let's go train and and then for Zach, like me and Jeremy used to always joke like Zach's the fastest person I've ever seen.
I've always
skate.
said that.
Like,
yeah,
hands down best.
He's the only guy ever. Like in front of me where I'm like, okay. Like this, when we do like sprint 2, pace 3, and we'd snap off the cone.
The snap.
I was like, all right, honestly, you're probably like the only dude. I was like, okay, this dude is next level fast.
Yeah.
Like,
The
I'm
cone
trying
to-
so hard.
The cone to cone was
Yeah, it
obnoxious.
was hard to skate behind you.
So, Julian, let's go to you. So we got Jacob, Aiden, Wesley, Gabe, Jacob Anderson, and Chris Springer. Now, Chris Springer is, he's a veteran skater, but he's not a veteran in the NSC. And Chris is a guy who's typically not awesome at the beginning of the year because he's got real life and a job and everything. But every year at Nationals, I swear you look up in the relays and you're like, why is Chris going so fast? Like Chris in a 2-man is so
fast.
damn fast. So I'm curious to see how he does. But Julian, give us your prediction on the 1,000. Run that out for us.
Definitely Gabe and Aiden. And then Spring. I feel like Spring and Wesley are going to be in there at the end no matter what.
What about James?
James is in sprint.
Is he in sprint?
Oh, he's in sprint.
Yeah.
Who else did you say is in endurance?
So you got Jacob Melton and you got Jacob Anderson too.
I feel like all of them are going to be in there in the race. It's just going to be down to like the last 3 laps. A lot of pushing, a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Wesley and Chris, they skate together all the time. You know what I mean? Like they know how each other, especially in 1,000, they know how each other's going to skate. So I wouldn't be shocked if they skated from the front together. And then you have, and then you have Gabe.
Yeah.
Which is, who knows what he's going to do. Hopefully he actually tries to win it like
Yeah.
he did at the last competition. But I don't know. It's so, we have such a tight group that it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. The one kid that I think we're sleeping on a little bit too is Jacob Anderson because he skates with Cheeks. Cheeks is I believe his actual coach, and I don't really know anyone better at racing than Cheeks was, like especially in distance stuff. Like God, that dude was so damn good at racing, and so with Cheeks in his ear, the kid has the ability. I've seen him; he's fast. If he listens, we might see a really interesting race. And then Jacob Melton really surprised me when we were in Milton, Florida. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That kid is
Dude,
fast
he's got
too.
distance, and he's got top end too, which is scary. So if he skates it right too, and I think it's whoever going to come down and really wants to win. You know what I mean? Who's going to be up front, 5-4 to go.
It's an interesting group because there's not a Head and Shoulders standout, right? So like
Maybe
we ran.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while,
Yeah.
but like we've seen enough of them race with a lot of the events outside the NSC. But there was a time period where where you did a reign on sprints and there was a favorite and you were just like, Cheeks is going to win the distance stuff and Jarrett Paul is going to win every grand champion race, period. Because I don't know what the hell, like Jarrett Paul couldn't lose a grand champion race during his run. It was pretty cool. But here in both of these, the men's sprint and the men endurance, I really wouldn't even know how to rank this, right? Like if I had to be Vegas and put the odds out, maybe I could pick the top 4. I don't know. I don't know.
That's tough.
I might be wrong though. So
We could also place a bet if you guys want to place any type of wagers.
yeah,
I'm in the bet.
I definitely wanted to do that. That's that. let's do that all day.
Yes.
That's super fun. Let's move on to the women endurance. We'll keep the women sprint last. Their group's pretty damn cool. Women endurance, Paige Dawson. A lot of you guys have known Paige forever. So for you listeners at home that kind of don't know some of this dynamic, we're in Washington. All of us grew up skating for Patterson's Team Extreme, and then the old coach of Patterson's Team Extreme, Sean Patterson, bought a rink on the other side of the mountain in Washington, and they're Patterson's North. And so it's kind of like a brother and sisters club, and Sean is Paige's coach. So all of us got to see her skate quite a bit when we were younger. Defending grand champion, Kelsey Hellman. Kelsey's in the mix no matter what. You throw the best girls at her, Kelsey's going to skate with them. And Kelsey's a lot like Julian in the sense that if the group isn't the best, she'll skate down to the group and race them.
100%. I've seen her at some league meets. I'm like, you're way faster than this.
Yeah. And then we got Michaela Lyons. So we got Gabe's sister. And I don't want to reference to her as Gabe's sister because Michaela's starting to really come into her own. And Michaela's really lucky because she gets to skate with Francesca every single day at our practices. And that's where Brandon and I as coaches are starting to gauge where her ability is. And she can skate with Cheska. Like, I don't want to say that she can beat Cheska, but she can skate with her.
She can skate with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
No,
I know.
I know when you're tired and Michaela goes by and you're like, why are you still, why are you not dead yet? So I think she can pull something off. And then I haven't really got to see this gal skate, but more people than I can count reached out and said, hey, you got to throw her in the league, which is Mackenzie Robinson. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen her skate yet before.
Not really. I've seen the same thing, just a couple like Facebook videos about it.
Okay. Next on the list is Melissa Perry. And
can't count her out.
No, and Melissa really was starting to kind of reach, the prime of her career, and she also raced the NSC during some of the hardest times. So when she was racing the NSC, you had Aaron, you had Cheska, you had Kelsey, you had Corey. She even raced an event with Brittany Bowe. So she was in the mix, and so you can't count her out when we lose a lot of those skaters. And then finally, this gal's been doing a number, on the circuit outside of NSC, which is Jalen. She's fast and she's consistently in.
I've never seen
race.
her blown up before.
No,
I've never seen her blown up. I'm like, how are you not tired?
Yeah, so
I'm so jealous of people like that can just go out there like this guy and just not get tired.
Not get tired. I get even more jealous when someone doesn't get tired and they have top end. Like, I'm totally cool if you don't get tired, but you don't have top end speed. That's what used to piss me off about Cheeks. I'm like, dude, did you just go 8.4 for like 8 laps?
Yeah.
Like, how'd you?
It's like effortless. I'm like, that's awesome.
So let's Brandon, let's throw this one at you. Women's endurance race. So the women are going to race one different distance than the guys. So the guys do 1,000 and a 16. The girls are going to do 1,000 and a 1,300. So let's jump to the 1,300. And why don't you give us kind of the rundown on that? And then I'll give you a refresher. You got Paige, Kelsey, Michaela, Mackenzie, Melissa, and Jalen.
Oh man, that's tough too. This group I just never seen race together, so I have nothing to really reference. They're all racing different divisions and different platforms, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think Kelsey's going to come out with probably the most confidence, I would say, and probably is going to end up leading most of it, or she likes to sit in second and protect. So I don't know, man. If I were to bet, I'd probably either take Kelsey, or I might take one of the young guns.
Michaela.
Yeah, or Michaela, because Michaela is in a sense kind of like Gabe when it comes to racing. Like, if they know that they're the best, they're going to be extremely fast. But if they're worried about someone else in the race, they're going to skate down. They're just going to sit in 4th or 5th place, and then they're going to take off and not enough time to get up front, right?
Or she has to stay on her feet because.
Let's not jinx her.
Right.
Well, the only reference that we have really for speed-wise, right? And top-end speed matters a lot, especially when you get, by the time we get to this time in the year, like almost everyone's fit, so like top-end matters. I think the fastest a girl has gone is either Aaron or Corey. I want to say it's either 8.7 or 8.8, which is blazing fast, especially for the girls. Michaela's been clocking 9.1s without plastic.
Yeah.
So when you take plastic into that, she's probably a 8.9 skater at top end.
And she's got distance too. So.
And she's got distance, but Kelsey is someone who can run those times too.
True.
I mean, you got a whole group of girls.
When you also watch
that
Kelsey
fast.
skate too, she kind of skates. Kind of skates like us in a sense. Like, she actually tries to jam. Like, not many girls actually try to jam, but the kind of unique dynamic of that is Michaela skates with us all the time, and we purposely like try to mess up her track and make sure that she can't pass us. So I feel like she's going to see that coming, especially if we're there, not you because you run the thing, but if I'm there coaching her, like that's that's kind of the thing I'm telling her to look out for.
Yeah, it's the only one that I feel confident about, just flat out going, okay, I think is going to be on the podium is Kelsey. And then I look at this group of girls and I just think to myself, like, how the race plays out is going to matter so much. Like, because they're so equal, I think you're going to see an insane amount of jockeying. I don't think you're going to see a calm race. I think you're going to just see pass after pass after pass of positioning, and the nerves are going to get there, and you're going to see some blown up legs in that race. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go to sprints. This is pretty damn cool because we have Aaron Jackson racing, which is awesome, because all I'm thinking if I'm the other girls is going, I want to beat the Olympic champion
100%,
so
dude.
damn bad.
100%.
You know, like imagine racing the NSC and then you go home and you're like, oh yeah, you know that girl you saw on TV?
Yeah.
Because think about it. I know when I was a kid, I would have died to have raced Apollo on inlines, especially during the height of his notoriety. I know that you guys are probably thinking like, damn, I really would have loved to have raced. Well, you're probably closer to JR's age. You probably would have wanted to race JR, and you guys are probably like, let me race Aaron Tran tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
None of us ever got that opportunity. And what I love so much about this recent group of skaters who've gone over to the ice is that they're coming back and racing inline races, like guys like Bart, and you're seeing that more. So like, big shout out to Erin for not feeling like she's too big time to come and race in the NSC. And so I'm super excited to watch the other girls duke it out with her. So let me give you this lineup. We got Mackenzie Brown. Now Mackenzie's a veteran in the NSC. She's got a killer start, and the 300 for her is never out of question. Okay. Kayla Duke, right? And
Another crazy start.
Another crazy start. And now I originally had Jasmine Foster in endurance, and Jazzy reached out and said, let me sprint. And so that makes me really confident too, because she already knew who was in the sprint lineup when she asked to sprint, which is always a good indication that she's ready, and Jazzy's just damn fast. And then this gal, I've never seen her race, but again, a million people reached out and said she's got to race sprints in the NSC, and that's Cassie Gurdon.
Oh yeah, she's got another crazy start. And I saw that girl skate. I think she got fourth in the 100 at Worlds or something.
Yeah, like she's
right.
I heard that.
I think she's a top 10 finisher.
Yeah, dude, her start's next level. So that's another fun thing to watch, especially the ladies duke it out of the first corner.
Yeah, what I would love to see in that race is if any of the girls can beat Aaron off the line, we got a hell of a race on our hand. And yeah, let's see how that plays out. So I don't know. Let's go to Adrian for this. Predictions for the women's sprints.
Aaron's obviously going to be up there. And Jasmine's also going to be up there. And I think Mackenzie, she's been training a lot on ice. And usually when she puts the work in, you can...
She spends a lot of time on her bike, too.
Girls sprinters have 3 and 5, too?
3 and 5, yeah.
Who else was in the lineup?
And then you have Kayla Duke and Cassie Gurdon.
Yeah, they're all going to be together for sure. But... like the nerves of racing an Olympian is all going to get to them for sure.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, like it's going to feel good. Like you got to dream about it, and then you got to go out there and actually do it, which is the hard part.
Yeah, but then you also, again, you have no pressure at the same time. It's like, okay, if Olympic champion beats me, it's like, meh, whatever. But if you beat them, you get like, you're like, oh my God, you know, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it's so damn recent. Like this isn't like
10 years ago.
Yeah, this isn't,
a couple months ago.
Casey, who's an incredible athlete, coming back, 4-time Olympian.
Still is whooping all of our asses.
Still whooping, yeah. But it's not the same thing as like the person who literally just won the Olympics, just got done, on every mainstream media channel, is now coming to race you. Pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to draw names here in a little bit. So this is one of the things, and for the athletes that are listening here, our whole goal with NSC always has been able to create the most fair format, right? And that's the reason we've always done the wheel restriction. That's the reason we pre-record the audio. That's the reason that our rules are completely set up to try to make it the most fair format that there is. And so what we want to be able to do for you guys is draw names, give you your starting positions, and that way you can practice them. So if I'm a sprinter and I already know I'm on the wall, well, guess what I'm doing for the next 20 days? Yeah. I'm practicing all my damn starts on the wall, right? But before we jump into drawing names, I want to hear your guys' predictions for the Flying 100 and the Grand Champion winners.
Who wants to go first? Julian, you go first.
We'll start down there.
I want to say for the Flying 100 that, what was his name, Miles Mead?
Yeah.
I don't know. He beat Gabe at that last meet, and that kind of
Dang, don't let Gabe
I don't know. His time was fast. I was like, damn, I didn't even know who the kid was. And
Gabe, Tanner, and that kid all ran almost identical times. It went further into the fractions for the times. So you're predicting Miles for the Flying 100.
I don't know. I feel like anyone can take it, but if that kid's like in his feelings, like feeling good, I feel like he can take it.
Okay. How about for the girls?
Oh God, you'd have to say the names again. There's so many.
So Mackenzie, Erin, Kayla, Jasmine, Cassie, Paige, Kelsey, Michaela, Mackenzie, Melissa, and Jalen.
I'd say Erin all the way.
Yeah. Erin's hard to bet against in a Flying 100, but I don't know. Man, Kelsey's came close a few times.
Yeah.
Erin's top end's stupid,
it's
though.
Flying, though. Like, Jazzy, like, last time we actually, I don't know, last time I've seen Jazzy get clocked, but she is
she's
fast
a winder.
top end, yeah. So that helps. And you got all the new kids, dude, that are just fast for no reason.
Yeah, for no reason. For no reason.
It's like,
scary
why are you
fast.
so fast?
It's weird because last time I saw them, they're just little kids to me, and now they're all faster than me. Not probably, they're all faster than me. So it's like, the thought of maybe going back out there is like, I don't want to get beat by these kids, because that's what you felt like. You watched me grow up, and then you got beat by me. Probably didn't feel that good,
I didn't
right?
care getting beat by you. I don't care about anyone in my camp that beats me. Anyone outside of it that's younger than me, that's when I feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Zach, prediction.
For me, I think for the 100 meter, I think it's going to be Tanner or Gabe.
Okay.
Just from the last 2 races I've seen, like online.
Yep.
Those are the fastest people I've seen so far.
And then for the women?
Can't bet on anybody else but Erin, I think, personally.
Nice.
I say the same thing about the women, Erin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about the guys?
The guys, it's going to be between Gabe, Tanner, and what was the other kid you were talking about?
Miles Mead.
I feel like it's going to be any 3 of them. I'm just going to give it to the little man.
I don't know, man.
I'll take Gabe if he takes Tanner. We'll bet on it.
Yeah, we will. Brandon's doing the math in his head right now.
I don't know.
Throw some cash.
No one threw out Aiden. No one threw out
Aiden.
Jacob.
I forgot about
Jacob Melton.
Aiden can run a fast.
I was just thinking about the sprint.
Damn, Jacob Melton can run a fast 100 too.
Junior, I think Junior's gotten close to winning the 100 the last time he skated. Oh, it's right here, Flying 100 PR. 8.7.
Is that Aaron? Did Aaron go 8.7?
No, that's Junior. Who
got
8.5? Oh, Gabe did 8.5.
But keep in mind some of the times aren't at Pattison, so.
But Wesley is 8.6. Like, this is all over the place. I have no idea.
Is this from the last NSC?
No, these are their PRs.
Is just their best time.
Oh, you asked
PRs
for their
are on there,
PRs?
yeah, some. Because we track all
Sorry,
their.
I'm cheating, but I don't know, man. I think I'm going to mix it up. I think I would, if I'm going to take, you guys all took 2, didn't you? This is so hard. I'm gonna go. I'll take Junior because I'm biased, but no, I think he could still win. And then I'll take Jacob. I think that kid.
What and for your girls?
I'll take Aaron in my top 2 pick, and then I'll take Jazzy.
Okay, all right. Super bold prediction, and then we'll move on to drawing. No explanation. You only get 1 pick. We're just going to go down the line. Grand champion winner for the guy and the girls, starting with Brandon.
I'll take Jacob Melton for the guys. And then I'm going to take damn. I don't know how Aaron's eight lap is.
It was good enough to blow everybody up the last NSC when Cheska snuck in with that corner pass.
Let me see.
Let me see the list. All right, while Brandon's looking, let's go.
Pass that down.
Let's go to Zach. Zach knows the skaters. Let's go.
For me, I think the guys. I think it's Aiden Saylor. I think he's gonna take it.
Okay.
And then women, I think Erin Jackson. She just has that top speed, and I think she can just sit on them.
Those are good picks. Julian.
I'm gonna go Gabe and Jazzy.
Yeah, good picks.
I was gonna say Gabe. I know how bad he wants it. I know how bad he wanted it the last time. But
Feel bad. Sorry, Gabe. I'm rooting for you.
yeah,
But
you gotta talk smack to your friends.
He almost got that suit, but Adrian took it away.
Yeah, I had to grab it again before.
But what I'm
I
trying to
left.
do is I'm trying to pump Gabe up so when he watches it, he gets pissed off and actually tries and go out and win. My pick, I'm going to go with, for the ladies, I think I'm going to go for Mackenzie Robinson.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out a new cat.
Nice. Well, let's
You
rock.
didn't give your pick.
I can't pick. It's not fair for me to pick.
It's just a thought of who you
You have
think's
to
going to
pick.
win. You're not. It's just a thought.
Oh man, if
Take two, so it's not as bad.
All right, so if I'm picking on the girls, I think Kelsey's gonna be my pick for grand champion. I think she's gonna hold her suit. For the guys, dang, I'm gonna take Gabe or Tanner.
They're going to be battling for sure in that
Yeah.
race. That's going to be a nasty race. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, that's the 800.
So the reason why, before we do the drawing, I got to explain my pick. So I already calculated the mess in my head, but what I think could potentially happen is because Jacob has, I think, probably the best distance out of that whole group because all they do is skate outdoor and they skate for miles. They do marathons every weekend, and like I've seen that kid like skate behind Stephanie's car like forever.
Yeah.
And I just think that if he skates it right and he's up front, you have all this chaos behind him. And I just think every grand champion race, there's always something where the pack's together, something shitty happens from third or fourth place, and then pack does this. So if he's up front, that kid can just go all day.
Well, one thing that you gotta remember too is that the format is insanely hard because people forget that you're racing so many races in less than 2 hours. Yeah. So,
especially for the distance guys.
Oh my gosh.
I always felt bad for the distance guys at NSC. I'm like, this 3 and 5 is not so bad.
No, so after the 8, I like lay down and it hurts, dude.
Well,
if you've ever watched me race, by the end of the 8 laps, I'm like borderline puking.
Well, that's what's funny. So in the early years, when we first started NSC, the guys weren't prepared for the format, and at the time we didn't even have girls yet. We had a bucket back there because it wasn't uncommon for people to just let it go back there. Like I remember going back there, and it looked like they just got done with war. No one's talking. Helmets are on the ground. Hands are over faces. I'm like, dude, this is insane. And eventually people were like, okay, I got to prepare for the format, but it was the Wild West when we first started.
It's brutal because like you look at a meet and you're like, you race and then you got like 2 hours before you race again. NSC, you give it your all and then next thing you know, you're on the line again to race.
It's pretty crazy. All right, well, let's hang off real quick. We'll draw names here in a second, but that kind of brings me to something that I don't want to lose a train of thought here. So I would love to hear your guys' experience on how you got into the NSC because when we first started, there wasn't a trials format yet, and eventually we got to the trials format, and I know that you three went through the trials format. I can't remember if you went through the trials format or not. So you were old enough, you skipped that trials format. So Julian, let's hear from you and kind of walk us through what that experience was like.
It was very stressful because I think I was like 14, 15. Do you want me to explain like the race?
Tell us anything you want to
I was
tell
like 14, 15, and then trials came. I didn't make it through the sprints, and it came down to the very last race. And I want to say my only competition was Wesley.
I remember that. Was that the Armory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And in my head, I'm like, this little kid, I'm like, I can't beat Wesley. So I went out there and I was like, I'm going to lead the whole race. So I went out there and led the whole race. And then I want to say it was like 2 to go. And I see him passing me and I just like totally faked it. And I just like sprinted off on him. And I want to say we both like pushed each other. We probably should have both got DQ'd, but then
That's racing.
Yeah.
Did
like,
you
I
guys-
want to say that was it you guys that had such a good race? We
Yeah,
put you
you
both
put 'em
in the
both in.
league.
Yeah,
'Cause
it-
you guys
because
didn't you guys get to the line at like the same time?
I think that was Ian.
no, it was both of them. But yeah, me and Wesley like got to the line at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Wesley is such, and that's what's brutal about the NSC too, is that you're like Wesley's been skating in it for freaking 10 years, maybe longer, and every damn year he's like, I got to try out
Yeah.
again,
Mm-hmm.
and again back to trying to keep this as fair as possible and the best athletes. Now, one of the things about the format is trying out for the league means that you guarantee your spot when you make it, but it doesn't mean that if we think someone's suitable for the league and adds value that we won't put them in, because our objective as a promoter of the sport is always to put the best of the best out
Best
there
talent, yeah, absolutely.
and put on a show. So Zach, tell us your experience.
Well, I felt like I had like 2 different like trials for him because like I remember we had to do tryouts at Patterson's and then tryouts at the Armory. So it was like 2 different ones. But I remember I was like 15. You're like, oh, you got to compete for NSC next year. Like you can beat them. I'm like, yeah, I think so. But I was like so nervous because every time I went into the races, I wasn't as confident as I was racing like my division because I was like, okay, cool, I got to shadow these certain people. But everyone else, all the same speed. And so like every time I go into it, I was just very nervous and didn't talk.
Were you 14 too when you started?
Yeah.
Really?
I was
Dang.
14.
That's crazy.
Adrian was young too. What was yours
I
like?
think I was like 14. Well, I won when I was 15, so
Yeah.
I think I was 14, maybe even 13. I don't remember.
No,
No, you couldn't have been because we had
Yeah,
a birthday
yeah.
cutoff.
My first race, I was like 8.
Oh yeah.
damn,
Was I 8?
forgot about
I think
that.
I was 8. But
Yeah, the crowd
Yeah.
races.
That is
I think
crazy.
does Ron have that picture? You could put that up there.
Oh
too.
my
There's
gosh.
a picture of it.
Yeah.
But-
Julian, you were in there too, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, he got
It was-
smacked by me.
I don't even remember racing
I took
you.
the dub.
On rental skates.
Yeah, it was on rental skates at Patterson's.
Oh my
But
gosh.
for the tryouts, I barely made NSC. I think I was the last spot.
Damn.
And yeah, I was really nervous. I was the camera guy for a while. I was out there skating, filming for you guys.
That's right.
Dang, that's crazy.
So it was cool being on the floor then, and then finally I made it. I retired being the camera guy, and
Love
then
it.
I won the first NSC I went out there. I won, and you told me after, you're like, you don't have to try out ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, honestly, when I go to tryouts and watch, I get nervous because I'm like, if I was out there, that'd
Yeah,
be so
it'd be
nerve-wracking
hard.
trying to go out there again. So it's nice, just relax. And
That's
hang
one
out
of the
time.
things
Oh,
that's
yeah.
nice about getting the black suit is that
You're done.
you're like, I'm forever
I
in.
love that rule.
Yeah.
I never have to try
And
again.
so how did you, so did we handpick you, Brandon? How did you get
No,
in?
you want to hear this story, fellas?
Sure.
The first year NSC happened, I don't know how old I was, but we were at nationals and you and Joey were giving out like those T-shirts, and I was so stoked you guys gave me one because you guys had like 20 or 30 of them, and I was like,
We did a very small run.
yeah. So I was like, oh, yup, like I'm gonna be in it.
NSC wasn't even a thing yet.
I know, like
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing. And then the first year happened, and nobody invited me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then what you guys did for the second event, I think you needed like one more guy, and then it was like you were gonna have me, Eben, or like one other person. And then you guys did. It was at like a local meet. You guys had like a specific race to see who gets.
Everett.
And I couldn't go, so Eben was there and he won, and he was in the league. So I worked at the rink at the time, so I had to watch like the first few NSCs like the full year, and like I had to just like watch, and I was so pissed, dude. I remember I left one time early because I was so mad. I was like, why am I not racing right now? And after that, I was in it.
I remember that we needed like 1 or 2 more spots, and Jordan Haffinger was good at the time.
Yeah, it was him and Haffinger.
Evan was good at the time, and Andrew Simmons, and it was like this group, and dude, they were killing themselves to get in. I think obviously Evan got in, but that's nuts. Okay, so next question is, do you guys remember your first race, the first NSC race?
Dang.
Yeah, I do. I was in endurance, actually, believe it or not, my first NSE. I didn't make sprints during
Oh.
tryouts. And so I actually ended up being in endurance.
Sucks.
What was that like? Walk us through the nerves and what you were feeling. And
It was nerve-wracking because like I was facing Cheeks and Stelly, and so like you know them as like typical endurance skaters, and me as a sprinter going into those races, I was like, I just need to be able to stay in the pack and keep up, and hopefully I have legs for the end of the race to
This
be
guy's
able
like eating bananas for the first time. It's like, this will help.
I gotta be healthy now.
Yeah.
But
10
I just
minutes
remember
before
just
race.
trying to keep up and just like, okay, hopefully I can make it out of this heat with all of this talent that we have, and I just got dropped. I was just like, yeah, I gotta work on my
It's not
endurance
for me.
now.
you find out real quick it's the real deal.
Oh, it
Oh,
is.
for
dude.
sure. And I think we had to place to get into the 100-meter time trial at the time.
Yeah.
And so-
Because we've done that in the past with the formatting. Like you didn't even get to skate the 100 if you weren't. Because there was times there was like 30 dudes.
Oh, yeah.
And we've obviously cut that back, which is why the list is so aggressive here. Like, sorry to cut you off, but like because we didn't really do a tryouts for this, like we took some skaters that were in the league, we took some from old tryouts, but we needed to put together the best current skaters.
Yeah.
We had to hand pick, and there were several skaters that I wanted to be on this list that we just couldn't fit them in the format. Like there's a kid, Ashton Hale, is that his last name?
Mm-hmm.
And another kid, what do they call him? Smokey Groves.
Yeah.
That kid's super good. Then there's a kid from Florida that I asked you about.
Oh, Daniel Gill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of those kids, and they're all capable of racing. They don't have the experience yet, and so I'm hoping that we get back to our normal tryouts, and we don't have to do the politics. It's just the best of the best that go in. So
Yeah, for sure.
let's go to Julian. Like, walk us through
His
your
first NSC was like 2 years ago.
I know, and
I can't remember.
Did your skate come untied?
No, I think that was my second NSC.
Oh, yeah, you held
Yeah.
your lace up for like 5 laps.
But my first one was at indoor nationals, and I was like, I feel like I was a sprinter, but I made endurance. So I'm out there, I'm like, I can't even last like more than 5 laps, and I was just like passing to piss people off, to be honest, like, to try to mess people's races up.
oh my
Sounds
god,
like you.
But the other one, yeah, I think I won the start. I'm like skating, and then all I hear is Adrian behind me. He's like, "Your shoe's untied, or your skate's untied," and I'm like, "Stop fucking with me!" And then I look down, and I remember I had hockey laces because my laces broke, so I put some hockey laces, and I look down and I have like 3 feet of lace like on the ground, so I like pull over and like wrap it up. And
we
then
have
like
pictures of you
yeah,
trying to skate.
and it was like an adrenaline rush, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pass up to the front, so I passed up to the front.
You went fast.
Yeah.
Holding his lace.
But as soon as it like got to that
Nationals.
speed where I couldn't like skate like that anymore, and it was over. So that
oh my god.
was probably the funnest race I've skated.
All I hear behind me, dude, shut up, stop. He looks at me, oh.
So Adrian, I imagine for you, let's skip the first race and let's go to that Grand Champions race, and you're on the line. Did you go onto the line thinking you can win? Like,
No, I went up to that line. I had nothing in my head. I was just like, I'm just out here. Like, I'm just gonna go race. But I did good the races before. Like, I think my first race out there, I got second.
Yeah.
I got off, and my dad looked at me. He's like, "Dude, you kidding me?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I went out there in the Grand Champion race. I just tried to stay at the front, and it's only 8 laps, so
Only.
Yeah,
but
dude, that's a long time.
It's a sprint, but it's also that's why I love it's 8 laps because it's not a sprint race. but
Fly
it's
just
endurance.
drops on his head real quick. Well, that just completely distracted me. Was that Mike Pence that like didn't move while there's a fly?
Dude just chilling
and he
on
just
his head.
ignored it the whole time.
I didn't feel
But what I guess did you? So you weren't even nervous going into that because
Dude,
you were
not at
just
all.
thinking like if I pull something off, I guess it's probably like getting in a fight with a kid that should kick your butt, and you're like, well, I win either way.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
a 5th grader fighting an 8th grader.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, if it beats me
Dude,
up, it's whatever. It's supposed to happen.
yeah.
If not,
I'm a
the
hero.
guy.
That's exactly how it was. And after I did win and I went to the next NSC, having that black suit, it was so much pressure. And if the 3 times that I've won, you'll see that I won and then I lost it again. And then I won and then I lost it again because like every time I have it, I just can't stay right. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the best one out here.
That's why you stopped. You're like, oh, I won it. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like you because you're like, yeah, I retired with the black suit.
Well,
yeah, but I'm old.
you
though.
know that when Brandon says that, there is definitely some truth to that because one of the things that I see is always a challenge for, and I've seen this in athletics in general, but I'll speak on skating, is that you get a kid he gets to a certain level in his brain, whether that's making the world team or winning NSC or being a national champion, and then they're so scared to see if they're real, right? And what I mean by that is like, I won nationals. If I quit today, no one will ever question how good I am. But if I skate again and I get my butt kicked, everyone's going to think it's a fluke. And I see it time and time again. I see it for kids that skate well at the world championship level and then they're gone, or the kids that are like, I'm going to go transition to ice. And you're like,
yeah,
you know, and then again, that's why like I'm so excited about Erin skating NSC, is because
she doesn't. Yeah, I
like,
mean, she wants to win, but she doesn't have that. Like, that bothers me a lot too. Like, I mean, I get both sides. Like, I get where they're coming from, because it does come back. And when you come back and you suck, it's like, why did I do that? But then at the same time, it's like, you also got to give back to you got to pass the baton. You got to get your butt beat by, you know, the next generation coming up.
You do, and that was one of the things that was so unfortunate about the last 2 years. And so, you know, Jeremy Anderson, myself, Michael Cheeks, Justin Stelly, we have such a long time frame of skating that we can still comment on the talent. And something happens in sports where you get super nostalgic. So whoever was the best in your era, you believe to be the best, period. It's the same Michael Jordan, LeBron argument, right? And so when you hear the old heads skate and they talk about Chad Hedrick and they talk about Keith Turner and they talk about whoever that is, I feel like it's such an unfair analysis of it, because I can tell you that every single group I've ever raced, I'm old enough to have raced Chad's group very briefly because they're older than me, but I've raced them at the pro level. I've skated in Justin Stelly's group, who's younger than me. I've skated in Mantia's group. I've skated in Chad's Horn's group. I've skated in your group, and I've skated in your guys' group. God, everyone's fucking fast.
Yeah.
Everyone is. And what establishes someone like Adrian is that passing of the baton, because he won the Grand Champions race with Cheeks and Stelly in it, and I think Jarrett was in it too.
Yeah.
And Stoppelmore was in it too. Like, you won it, which you're like, all right, who's going to argue that this kid isn't good now, right? And so this is what I'm a little disappointed on here, is that I know how good this group of athletes is, but we don't have a lot of the veterans because we lost the 2 years during COVID where you don't get the luxury of passing the baton.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a fresh start, though, too. I mean, you get a lot of kids out of this that, you know, like, for example, like, if Aiden goes on a tear this event, like, who's this? You can't really argue that he's not the guy. Like, he's done it outside of the league too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's been winning a lot of stuff, but I think you got a whole new generation that can really, like, make their stamp in inline skating at this event. So,
and I think too, with us getting back to the events, we're going to start seeing a lot of the skaters that kind of lost their passion for skating because they didn't have our events come back. Like, and I'm talking to these guys, maybe not Zach, but I think Zach could still do it. But these two kids on the couch at any point could take 6 months and be really competitive, and in a year could scare people.
It's true, because I remember when we used to do events like once a month or once there was like a time period. I think you guys did like 6 events in a year or something crazy.
It was 5.
It was something wild, and like that was the only thing that kept me in shape, because I was like, 3 weeks till NSC is like, I better start skating again.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
it's I think that having it back maybe once or twice a year is definitely gonna, you know, motivate a lot of kids, and we get some more kids skating.
Well, let's draw these names. Let's give everybody a little bit of nerves. I got these. I already ripped them up, threw them in the cups, and so I'm gonna go to by each division. So men's sprint, men endurance, women's sprint, women endurance.
So you guys want to pull for cone? Go cone to wall.
Yeah,
or you want wall to cone?
Cone to wall. That's the way you got to do it. Yeah. Cone to wall. So. Yep. So I think this one's men's sprint. Let's go for Brandon for the first pull.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and
this is rigged.
You can look
at
at
it. Rigged. It's all the same name.
Yeah. So hey, Ron, write these down. So this is for the 300-meter sprint first for the men.
Who wrote this? Tanner Wordley? Of course this guy gets coned.
I know, right?
All right, go to Adrian, and hang on to those because we got to do the 500 too.
Dustin.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Dustin on the 2 spot.
That's actually, you put it right here.
So again, guys, this is for the 300 meter. We're doing that first.
Miles meet.
Okay.
Caden Cato.
Okay, Caden. Oh, don't put
Don't
it back
put it
in there.
back.
Oh.
Hang on to it because we'll go. Zach, go ahead and
There's
pull
only one
again.
more?
Is there only one
Yeah,
name
there's
left?
One more for Wall.
Oh, well, that's.
And who's got Wall?
James Sadler.
Oh,
All right,
sorry,
so
James.
throw the names back in, and then let's rock for the 500. I'll do the first pull for the 500. Everybody's back in there?
Let's mix this bad boy up.
All right, let's go. All right, 500 meter pull. Not looking. Who do we got? Ooh, James Sadler for cone.
There you go.
Nice little recovery from getting Wall.
Yeah.
Wall could be a blessing in disguise for the 3.
Some people like it.
So, Ron, this is for the 500. So, James Sadler's cone for the 5.
This feels like Dustin.
Okay,
This
hand that
feels
to me.
Dustin.
Well, it's
Yo,
like this
chill.
Oh, you got it? Okay, cool.
paper's a little bit.
He got 2 twice.
Yeah.
Miles.
Did he get the 3 spot twice?
No, he got Wall.
They hit 3.
No, he got 3 twice.
Oh yeah, James got Wall.
yeah.
Sorry.
For the 5.
Dustin has the.
And I got Caden.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
Who do you have?
Caden. And who's last
Tanner.
one? Tanner. Okay, so Tanner
Oh, they're
got Wall on the
swapping. Him and
5.
James are swapping.
Yep.
You guys did that Michael in that cup.
What's that?
You didn't have Michael pass and roll in the cup.
Stop it.
Oh, come on.
Rerun.
Who cut these?
Dude, we don't have Junior in there? I cut him.
Got to redo it. Sorry, boys.
All right, put the names back in the cup.
I'll grab the scissors.
We're cutting the
He's
clip.
got to get cone for both.
Dang, dude, they're probably super excited with their spots, but fair enough. Let me make sure. I don't have Junior in the wrong. Filming it all. Let's make sure. Goodness, totally screwed that one up. Sorry, guys.
You know what we should do? We should just give dice. There's only 6 guys.
Yo.
Here, is this the sprint?
Yeah, but put them in the Sprinter's Cup. I'm just making sure I don't have Junior. Adrian has it.
Julian, stop.
What?
I think the dice idea actually is a good idea.
Think so?
Is there dice anywhere? That seems fair. We already drew.
What are you saying, Brandon?
Take the first person on the list. Roll the dice.
Hold on, say it in the mic so everybody knows what's going on.
Jeez. So we roll dice.
'Kay.
Right. We'll start from the person up top. We'll roll it. Whoever has the lowest number out of each roll, that will be the starting position.
What?
Okay. So if I roll a 2 and the first person on the list, we write 2 next to their name. Next guy, if I roll up 12, we're gonna write 12, and we go all the way down, and then we can rank it from lowest
okay.
number to highest number.
Okay.
Or we could pull. I don't care.
Pulling's easier.
All right. Where's the other? Where's Junior's name?
I got the cup.
I'll add Junior real quick. Hang on.
Here's the scissors.
You guys got the cup?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, that's the Sprinter Cup. Cool. You guys keep talking. I'll add Junior.
You guys just forgetting about my boy.
Dang, good cut.
It felt short. I was like, there's.
I
one
know.
more
I
person.
was like, sorry, there's 6 guys. Anyways,
Let me get races.
let's make sure that we have all of them for every division.
Yeah.
I'm still limping around from my crash.
When'd you crash?
That's what I was telling you guys. Even probably stepping on the cone.
There's actually a video of it in
Really?
the
Dude, I
security
would've-
camera.
I would have gotten so hurt.
Was this last night?
Because I was behind him.
Oh, you were there?
Wait,
Yeah, I was
this-
behind Miguel. I was
Oh.
getting gaps, but
Good thing you were blown up.
I was blown up.
Here we go.
If I was there, I would have died.
Hey, good thing you weren't skating, right?
All right.
So Julian was there.
Let's,
This is a while
Alright,
ago.
Oh, my bad, Ron. Ron literally told me to hand him back the pen. I said, no problem, and then I did not
All
hand him
right,
back
let's
the pen.
pull these bad boys.
All right, let's start again. And we have him on. Yeah, okay, he's on the list, so we should have 6 names.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's pull the first one. Dang, dude. Screwed that up. All right,
James is like, yes.
511. Ha! Of course, I pulled Junior for cone. That's for the 300.
Why is that paper so much bigger than
Yeah.
all the other ones?
Do you want me to do it again?
No, it's fine. Just rip it for next time.
I did it as fast as I could.
See, guys, we're
rigged.
definitely not biased because I called that one out. Miles Mead.
Okay. Miles is second. Keep that paper.
James.
Okay. Dude, Caden's getting robbed on it. Zach's going to pull him right now. Watch.
Wait, how's there 2 more in here? Oh, I guess
there's
one.
six.
Yeah, because there's 6.
Dustin.
Dustin, and then just pull the last
It's
name
Tanner.
and tell us. Yeah, and Tanner.
Dang, Tanner
Tanner.
got cone the last
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the 300. All right.
He's going to be watching
And
this.
then
Yeah, I got
Brandon,
cone.
pull the first one for the 500. Are all the names in there?
Mm-hmm. Should get someone else pulling.
Why am I nervous?
All right, this first one I touched. Miles. Oh, I got him last time.
Okay.
Dustin. I got Dustin again.
Really?
Yeah.
If he gets Caden again, it's rigged.
Oh.
Nice. Oh, you got one in your lap.
Wait, what?
You got one in your lap. Shake that cup.
Wait, there's 3 in here, so am I saying all 3 then?
Shake
No.
it.
No.
Shake it.
No. You're just pulling one.
All right. Tanner.
Okay, go back to
Worldly.
Zach. Don't put it back. Don't put it back. He doesn't understand how this game works.
Tanner Wordley.
This is exactly how Gabe stepped on the cone.
This is exactly how practice goes.
Yeah.
Caden.
And then tell us the last name.
James.
James. Okay, we got that line up.
Keep forgetting you.
All right, let's go to men endurance. I'll pull the first. Okay, let's see here.
Miguel Jose.
Adrian Workman.
Yeah.
Yo.
Who did we pull? Wesley got cone. This is for the 1,000. Okay.
Wait, how many names are in here? One, two. How many guys are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have one?
I got Wesley, yeah.
There's only, wait. Okay, we're good. It's like, we're not doing this again. Jacob Anderson.
Okay.
I think these guys probably care less about their,
Yeah.
Chris Springer.
It's still nice, though. 1,000 matters, I feel like.
yeah, 1,000 for sure.
Yeah.
Jacob Melton.
Okay.
Gabe.
Okay.
Oh, Gabe.
Gabe.
Cool.
Aiden?
All right. Put him back in the cup. Let's pull the 16. Keep it over there, and then just go from Julian this way. Yeah. Good call.
Aiden Saylor.
Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Wesley Gandy.
I didn't look. No, I had Jacob Melton.
Okay. And then who do we have left?
Anderson and, do we say, someone get Wesley?
Probably Gabe.
Oh, we'll find out.
Oh, yeah, Gabe.
Jacob.
And then,
And then Gabe.
Sorry, Gabe.
Cool. Okay. Guys are done.
I got Wall.
Cool. All right. Let's
Here.
rock with
I got
The ladies. Ladies sprint.
last. Let's do ladies sprint
All right.
last because that one's fun.
Let's just give Aaron Wall to make it fun. 4 feet in Wall.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Some of those girls can start with her.
Oh,
So we're
for
gonna
sure.
see.
I want to see her, like, pass.
All right. So women endurance. Let's go. All right. Hopefully I did this one right, or we'll be rolling dice.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Robinson. So this is their 1,000, Ron. The women's 1,000.
Michaela Lyons.
Hold the paper though, because we'll need it again.
Jalen.
Okay.
Is that his name?
Yep.
Melissa.
Okay. Stop looking, cheater.
I was looking. Paige Dawson.
Okay. And then is there only one left?
Yeah, just pull it.
Last one. Kelsey.
All right. Put him back in there. Let's
This
draw
is
for the
1,000?
that was 1,000.
Ooh,
And then
that's
now
gonna
we're
be
going to pull for the
interesting.
1,300.
Kelsey on the
Just
wall.
pass it back. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, go first.
Michaela.
Okay. 1,300.
Godin.
Look.
Godin, I guess.
Mackenzie.
Okay.
Oh, my bad.
It's top one. Melissa Perry.
Let's all right, let's see here. Jalen, and then let's go back to Brandon.
Kelsey.
And
Oh,
then-
Rogers. And Paige, his last.
Nice.
Wall.
Cool. All right. Grab
Sprinters.
that one. Women's sprint.
Oh, here. I mean,
All right. Let's go with Adrian. Adrian hasn't pulled first yet. Pass it over to him.
Who's this?
This is women's sprint. You're deciding someone's destiny right now.
Yeah. Jasmine.
Oh, this is for the 300.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Yeah, this is super crucial.
Aaron Jackson.
Oh,
rigged.
oh, Julian's dropping names out
Yeah,
there.
Julian's just rigging it.
I didn't
over
read
here.
any of them.
No, redo it.
Come on, dude. You suck at this.
Mackenzie Brown.
I was gonna call it too.
All right,
I
no,
was
don't
like,
put it
I
back.
almost did,
Every
dude.
single time, dude.
This is practice.
This is totally
Do
practice.
not go back in the box.
Caleb.
Who is it?
Kayla.
Oh, Kayla Duke. Okay.
And Cassie.
Okay.
Ooh.
Throw him back in there. Let's draw for the 5. All right. Let's go Julian first,
I might
because
put it
if
back
you
in the
let
cup.
him go last, he gets confused.
I'm still going to put it back in the cup. All right.
Don't be.
Mackenzie
500.
Brown.
Who is it?
Mackenzie Brown.
Ooh, it's a good spot for the.
She got Cone or second from Cone and Cone.
Cassie.
Okay, there we
That's
go.
good for her too.
Kayla.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Is Aaron gonna get Wall?
Oh, Aaron might get
I don't.
Wall.
I want Aaron to get Wall. Sorry, Aaron. Damn it.
You called her.
Yeah, Aaron.
And then who's Wall? Jasmine got Wall for the 500.
Damn.
Awesome. Yeah, so we got all the names drawn.
We could put it out too.
What's that?
We just put it out, like the starting list. Or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
gonna wait
for
till the
sure,
event?
for sure. We'll put it out. That was the 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did the 3 first.
that was 6, right? 1, 2, 3.
Did we get them all, Ron?
4, 5.
Yeah, there's only 5.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, let's
Well,
make sure, yeah.
who was the last one? That
1,
was
2. Yeah, there's only 5 of them.
Okay.
Oh, there is.
So we got that dialed. So, yeah, I mean, other than, kind of what we talked about, what are you guys looking forward to the most for this event?
I'm just ready to be back at an event with plastic that's cured. I've seen that they've already actually laid.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they've laid plastic, which is wild because normally it's like the day before, a couple days before. So I think because we're always the guinea pigs too when we do it at nationals, right? So it's
Yeah.
like everyone's watching, like, okay, this guy's gonna just like eat it in the corners because the plastic's not ready yet or plastic's coming up. So I think we may even see some. I'm excited to see some times drop potentially too.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see. It's so difficult though because you can never tell. What there's years where you skate and you're like, dude, every record's gonna get broken, and then there's years you skate and you're like, we're not doing nothing.
Actually, a question I was going to ask you, obviously off the podcast, you going to let people mix wheels for the event?
Yeah. So I actually was just about to bring that up, and good job off the podcast.
Yeah.
So we've never been in an environment before where we've had the opportunity to let people have different hardnesses because we haven't really produced that. And so this is going to be really unique because I'm curious on how people are going to pick their own setups. And so Thomas reached out to all the athletes and already asked them, like, what's your preference? And so you're going to see people probably with full sets of greens, and you're going to see people with blacks. And the way that we always do it is, we're going to comp you your set, but if you wanted to, so let's say, for example, you're like, well, I race sprints, so I want to race all blacks, but damn, 8 laps is a lot on all blacks. I think I want to do some greens. You're fine, if you decide you want to trade with somebody and throw a green on or whatever, or even if you have our wheels, you're fine. So it's not a big deal. And then vice versa on the endurance side, you're like, maybe you skate a full set of greens in the longest race, and then once you get down to the 800, you're thinking about mixing. So it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to, probably the distance guys, you'll probably see a lot of greens out there, and then sprinters, you'll probably, especially for maybe like the 5, you may see that 4 and 4 mix. You've skated them, haven't you?
I haven't.
You haven't yet?
No.
You're the only, well, Julian's got
you
time on
skated
him.
him.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because, when we came out with the green hub wheels, I skate every batch because at the end of the day, like, I got to deal with the problem. So before I let anyone buy them. I'm making sure the damn wheels work. But I only got a half practice on them to know. I was like, these are solid. I'm comfortable. Here, Brandon. And then it went from like Brandon to Gabe to Julian to Cheska. So Francesca probably has the most time on them. And Julian probably has pretty equal time on them. What did you feel when you were skating the wheels? Like, is there a big difference between the blacks and the greens? Like, tell us kind of what the feel is.
Honestly, at first I didn't like it because I was so used to like the blacks, but then after probably like 3 practices, I got dialed in. I was like significantly rolling more.
Wow.
And you're a guy that came from G13s before like anyone really, I mean, some people skate G13s, but you love that kind of soft wheel. So it's crazy you're able to kind of mix a harder wheel in there. For me, I felt I tried all greens and I didn't like the all green feel. I felt like I was kind of like teeter-tottering in a sense. It almost felt like we're back to like bigger not bigger wheels, but bigger hubs in general. Because ever since we went from I forget the millimeters, but
you're talking about the core sizes?
Yeah, what's our current one? I forget
what
it
know.
is. It's like a smaller hub, but ever since we've gone to that, I've just fell in love with the smaller hub and having more tire on that. But for me, like the mix felt so much better. Like I honestly I'd probably race those on a sprint, to be honest.
Yeah, I remember. So I went full set in the beginning, and first I was unsure about skating a full set, but then after we skated enough laps, I was like, I can race a full set on ideal conditions, but the difference from how I skate and you skate is you're more agile than I am. So like you're gonna probably wait and throw a last pass where I'm like, I gotta start winding at 6, gradually build. And so the way that I would race that race is different. That's why I think someone like Adrian, if he really wanted to, could probably skate a full set of greens, because he can make the race miserable by like winding and winding.
It's different too. It's just a different feel going into the corner. That's the biggest difference for me. The roll was obviously like
stupid.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God, like pace line, I was just like running into people. But for me, like the comfortability going to the corner is so different in that slightly softer wheel. You're just
agile. You just lose a bunch of agility.
You could just slam in. That's why. But the mix though, for me, it was kind of like both, right? The wheels on the ends actually felt like I could still slam it, but that was actually getting more roll out of it. So I don't know. I love the mix a lot. If I were to race today, I don't know what I would. I'd probably still go all blacks for a 3, and then a 5. I'd skate warm up pretty hard, and I'd really kind of figure out which I want to do.
And again, for the listeners, especially if you guys are skating on the Bigfoot product, education about how to use products really important, because it's very easy to get frustrated when people don't go through the proper explanation of it. So one thing a lot of people forget is that when you first get the wheels, you got this kind of release on the wheels. It's really shiny, and when you skate, you'll get this perception of grip until you slam the corner, and then all of a sudden you realize real quick, oh my gosh, I forgot to take the wheels and take my skates and rub them on the carpet, rub them on the floor. So if you're someone who bought a new set of Bigfoot wheels and you're planning on racing them at nationals, please make sure that you take the time to really break them in. Now, one thing that's a little bit unique for me that I don't think that you necessarily share is that I actually like the wheels better about 2 practices in. You lose a little bit of the grip, but the squirreliness and the squealing of the wheel goes away once you get past a certain layer. And I actually feel like I can go faster once I lose some of that squeal, where I felt like in the past you love them fresh.
Yeah, I do like them fresh, but for me, like the back end, I'm scrubbing them on the carpet like pretty hard. Like I do it till I can't really see a shine, and then I wipe them with the towel. And for me, that gets rid of the squeal, but it also has the bite still. So I've always done that. I've done it for anyone that that, like when I was in Florida, I'd do it for all my skaters before the race. I'm like, no, we're getting these down so you could actually slam a core. You still can, but you have that squeal to where you're like, can I trust it? You know what I mean? So you kind of have like that in the back of your mind. But it doesn't take that long. Like anyone at nationals, like if I see them like, hey, like why are they squealing? Like we're going to actually go on the carpet, because the carpet will remove that way quicker than the floor does,
Yeah.
in my opinion. You guys rev your wheels too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do for sure.
I feel like Julian
just-
never has even thought about it before.
No,
Not
it's the
really.
best, dude. It is the absolute best because you have that shine, and that shine is that whole squeal.
What do you like the wheels fresh, or do you like them burnt a little bit?
I would like them burnt a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the compounds are so different than the traditional indoor compound. So people don't realize this, that almost every competitive indoor wheel right now is not technically an indoor wheel. There's always been cold pours and hot pours, and the indoor wheels we race on is really just a harder urethane outdoor wheel. But one of the things that I always try to explain with skating is like people look at things too simplistic. Like they'll reach out to me and they'll go, hey, what's the durometer of the wheel? And they'll gauge roll strictly off of it being hard. So their thought process is
Yeah.
pretty basic. Like the harder the wheel, the better it rolls. But they forget that when you're going in a 100-meter circle, it's more important to get energy back than it is to have rocks on your feet.
Yeah, you
so
gotta have rebound.
yeah, so if you get rebound, that actually gives you the perception of roll. Like when Julian the first time skated G13s, which you could do because you were so light, I actually thought it was a competitive advantage, and probably anyone who was, experienced in skating probably thought you were nuts. And it was a very similar thing to when Corey Stoddard was really young and MPC had that indoor wheel that, again, it was an outdoor wheel. It paid so much dividends for the young kids. They were so fast on that wheel. I think that's what we're seeing now is I think we lose a little bit of top end speed not being on the indoor urethane. But if you need to pound laps, this urethane's just so damn comfortable.
Yeah, because you could take a hard non-banded wheel, take the hardest non-banded wheel, and you take the softest banded wheel, and you're like, which one rolls? And you just told the guy, like, I give him no information on the wheel.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, oh, this one is like super
Yeah, it feels
bouncy, and
good.
I'm cruising, and they don't think about all the other variables in a wheel.
And that was one of the so like me and Michael Cheeks were talking about this the other day, is that if and this was his personal preference, he's like, if I have to choose between a wheel that I feel like I can go the fastest on or a wheel that's not going to blow up my legs as bad, he's like, I'm going to always go with the wheel that I can go faster on because I can out-train the fatigue part of it. But I can't solve the problem of throwing that pass and holding it and not making it, right? And so that's a big debate right now with a lot of the wheels. Like we focused heavily on, all right, let's make sure we can slam the wheel, because for all of you guys, like you guys, every single person here barked quite a bit, especially when we went to the outdoor compounds. Like I knew that you guys liked the wheels, but I remember when you did Adrian did our very first tests, and I actually didn't like this compound. You went out there and smoked me, and you're like, dude, these are awesome. Yeah. And at the time they were just labeled numbers. I don't even remember what the hell the numbers were. And I was like, really? And then you skated them a few more times. I was like, dude, let me try them. And you're like, I can do anything on them. Before, and you were barking like crazy before that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But anyways, well, thanks guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time, and
of course.
And I'm excited, and we're going to pressure the hell out of you guys to put your skates back on.
Yeah, you guys got to at least turn on the live feed and have a little live feed party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll make some side bets.
Yeah, I'll be in it. Just text me.
Yeah.
We'll do like a little skating parlay or something.
You guys can pick on Brandon if there's a chat while he's on the feed, him and Thomas, and just keep dropping bombs in there.
God, I won't see it, hopefully.
Or just keep telling him that the live feed's not working.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
If you guys really want to piss off Ron, just text him the whole night that the audio isn't working.
Oh, yeah. He's steaming.
All right, guys.
Sweet.
Well, we're looking forward to an awesome event, and I hope everyone tunes in, and we'll see you soon.
Heck yeah. Peace.
Later.